The UN Women's Country Representative to Nigeria, Beatrice Eyong, has advocated for inclusive government policies and programs to unlock the full potential of women and girls living with disabilities. The UN Women's Country Representative made the call at an economic empowerment summit for aged women and girls living with HIV in Nigeria and other marginalized groups.
The world is at a crucial crossroad for gender equality, with about 10.3% of women living in extreme poverty, which makes them poorer than their male counterparts. In Nigeria, the UN Women is bringing together relevant stakeholders for economic empowerment for older women, indigenous peoples, refugees, internally displaced persons, women and girls living with HIV and other forms of disabilities. The country representative of UN Women, Beatrice Eyong, at this summit said the nation's approaches should be to address practical and strategic needs.
To adopt a gender-responsive planning and budgeting. If we have a gender-responsive planning and budgeting, first of all, what does it mean? It means a planning, a budgeting of development that ensures that the needs, the aspirations, the problems of all persons from the different categories, from the different groups, are taken into consideration while planning and while budgeting and even while implementing.
The Executive Director of African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development, OTV Guzol, who was the guest speaker in his presentation, underscored the importance of addressing structural inequalities to accelerate women's economic empowerment.
We know that every country needs economic growth so as to reduce poverty. But our experience in Nigeria teaches us that economic growth is a necessary but insufficient condition for poverty reduction. That the growth has to be inclusive, especially of marginalized groups.
The situation we have found ourselves globally and in Nigeria, to be specific, women have been far left behind. Our cultures are not friendly to women, so we need to come out and talk to the society and the community and people concerned, our leadership, to know that this is what women are suffering.
With the theme, Promoting Inclusive Socio-Economic Growth and Development, a catalyst for reducing vulnerability and poverty among marginalized groups, the summit is aimed at leaving no one behind, with full support to helping the vulnerable realize their human rights without discrimination.